I noticed that, you know, even though you might get landscape, it really depends on the owner if they really, you know, because I've seen projects where, you know, they provide landscape and then they just don't do it, you know.
Especially on the
And
back
how's that
side,
gonna be
everything's
enforced?
Or it's dead in a week.
Well, that is, you know, that's, they have the, that's why I put that extra layer in there. To say, okay, show me your landscape plan, and I have to sign the document, reviewed by CD4, and then it gets signed off at Building and Safety. So people know that, hey, the council office is paying attention. So when you're saying you're gonna plant the whole rear with a red trumpet, and I see a, you know,
Wisteria or something?
yeah, whatever. I see one potato plant, this would be 10 white trumpets. I mean, I can go back and say, hey, wait a minute, what's going on? And I can apply pressure. Because the reality is the building and safety department, I mean, they have bigger fish to fry than that kind of stuff. So I mean, that's what we normally do.
I want to get Peggy chime in to answer something.
Thank you. I just wanted to touch bases back with regard to the concern over conditions, specifically the concern over prostitution. That it's very noteworthy that the current owner and management of the property for the past 18 years has had a very clean record, as was brought out in the prior hearing.
That is
The
true.
incident reports are incidences of a warrant nature, having to do with drug issues, but that's a pretty darn great reputation that's being maintained there, and I certainly think it speaks to the current owner. Going forward, this will be the same owner and has already a demonstrated history and ability to maintain that kind of a standard in the context that exists there. I don't think that should be overlooked.
Peggy, there hasn't been one single situation, one sighting for prostitution?
I believe there was one in 2003, and that had to do with a new manager that was undergoing training, and that was resolved through
Fair
training.
enough.
So that's the only one we are aware of on record.
To Daniel's point, you know, you raised a really good point about the economic benefit, and I think what's really positive is you see things changing on that block. And the more that the things change, and I think in this direction and with the residential project and the Hampton Inns, or whether they have adequate parking or not, I don't know, you'll see the value of those properties, especially the ones a little bit to the south where it gets kind of dicey, where you have the guys hanging out and kind of intimidating people. I think there's a very strong chance that you'll see more redevelopment and eliminating some of those problem apartment buildings.
Yeah, because in some ways you're
We're
kind
hoping
of creating
that'll
a
be nice.
spark in the neighborhood.
Cities love new hotels for several reasons, for two main reasons. One is you get the transit occupancy, the hotel tax. I mean, that's really high,
Sure.
that's huge, and that, every penny goes to the city. Whereas like a sales tax or an income tax, that goes distributed throughout the state. So that's one thing. And secondly, it's all outside money coming in. People are coming from vacation or from somewhere else. So it's all outside money pumped into the economy. They have to go eat, they have to, you know,
Gas
rent the
their
car,
car.
put gas in the car, they have to do all these type of things. So generally,
Get on the freeway.
hotels, especially new hotels, I'm not talking about the old dumpy motel, but a new hotel is huge for cities, and I mean, you see downtown, they're giving incentives for them to come, and
That's true.
so hotels are just like economic multipliers for cities, especially new ones. So I mean, I don't have exact stats of what the benefits would be, but
Usually,
I mean, we're all hungry for them.
usually an industry.
Oh, I think overall, we're happy to see it. We just
Yeah.
wanna make sure that concern
doesn't come-
remains where concern has been.
My only comment is if it's two-part. One, if there wasn't really a problem before, if it's the same owner, obviously it's working okay. And two, and this is just my own 100% personal point of view, I don't know that I want to be in a city that lets whatever profession, legal or not legal, decide my business activities. I don't run from prostitutes. Does that make sense?
How about drug dealers?
Drug dealers are the same.
Because
Nobody
there's
gets,
those two.
nobody, it's the same. Nobody gets to tell me what I do with my business. If there's a crime issue, then we deal with it that way. But I'm not gonna run away, and I'm building a new one in Canoga Park, I have one in Van Nuys. I'm not gonna not build because some bad people wanna hang out.
They hang
I
out
don't-
in your
I just-
laundromats, did you know that?
But you
I
know,
happen to have laundromats.
but you know that that's a gang zone. I mean, that is, it's zoned.
I'm
for
building,
issues.
I'm building one in Canoga Park on Roscoe across the street from Vallarta, it's gang central.
Okay.
Regardless of that fact, they don't get to tell me where I build. I don't think prostitutes should tell Mr. Patel where he gets to build. That's just my own personal point of view.
No, it's the business end of it. It's a cash business. That's what that's why prostitution works, because it's a cash business.
And the same thing with the drug dealing.
Yeah.
That goes with the prostitution, because most.
It's,
But I just think our-
it's an owner's choice to let it happen.
Our highest and best use as far as land is really determined by the entrepreneur itself.
Sure.
You know, and if Mr. Patel is doing just fine.
And we agree, Mr. Patel wants to put in a new hotel. We're very happy about that. That says a lot.
I'm trying to play devil's advocate on
And-
his behalf.
and
I
I
don't know
totally
the job,
stood.
but-
Totally agree.
And he has done a great job
But I know
so far.
Andy had another concern too.
I forgot what it was.
Oh.
I did, this is the second hotel that I've worked on, of this nature since I started with the city. One was in a prior job in Woodland Hills, and there was the Woodland Hills Motor Lodge, which is
Oh, I
on
remember
Ventura, way out there,
By
Fallbrook,
Shoup.
way down there. And it was a standalone hotel, it wasn't a bunch of a group
A
of,
row.
a row like we have here, so it's a different scenario. But we did have the exact same problems and the exact same concerns, and another Patel family, as a matter of fact, came in and did a Holiday Inn Express, which is similar to a La Quinta. And there was, they had to have some variances, because it's weird zoning, exact same thing. And there were some people's concerns, and then they tore it down, they did the construction. I mean, for years, I did not hear one thing
Nice.
from that, from the
That's
police
good.
or anybody
And
calling.
we're hoping the same thing.
And I'm hoping the same thing.
And hopefully the street will catch on.
Yeah,
You know,
I think
mean,
that
I
area.
think that's the most, just from what I'm hearing.
Well,
I
the
think-
owners on Halbert wanted to improve
Yeah.
too.
The only concern I have is sort of the streetscape on the sidewalk area, because it's not very conducive, because it's very narrow in
Very
certain
narrow.
part. And there's obstacles as far as telephone poles in there, and it's not your issue, but it's sort of the planning and, you know, the street service and everything. So I know that you've added bicycle short-term, long-term, and, but there's not a really, you know, that area is probably not open for bicyclists, because
I
it's,
don't know.
yeah, I mean, I wouldn't even dare to ride my bike
Yeah,
on it.
Right,
but
yeah.
they've gotta be compliant.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
You know.
I don't know if any, you know, I guess DOT or whatever, I mean, trying to,
I'm not sure about the width of the sidewalk, in that area. I don't know if there's room to plant, street trees, like cut out,
Yeah,
little
it's-
cutouts by the curb.
there's a lot of obstacles that, you know,
They
you have to
only got
maneuver.
4 feet to the front of the facade, so.
So,
It's
so
very
it's
narrow.
wide, so it's a tough,
It's very minimal there, because actually from the street
they're
standards,
walk down the pole.
the street is actually wider than the city street standard, so that results in a lesser
A frontage.
sidewalk,
The frontage
Yeah.
problem.
which is kind of
Was ever a
ridiculous.
consideration thought about to simply set back further?
The challenge with that is that you push the building back, and that then starts affecting parking.
Okay.
And we might end up with, you know, the code required parking instead of excess, and, you know, while that would work, we'd rather have, you know, more parking than less.
How much is in that well, yeah, but you have how many spots in that? You have how many parking spaces?
Across here,
Yes,
well, you've got your 3 handicap, 1 standard, and your loading zone.
On the other side, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
yeah, you
Would
lose
it
all
affect,
that.
also the zoning, because there's 2 parcels? I mean, you have 15 feet in the back, which is a great setback. I mean, what if you put 13 feet and give 2 more feet on,
Sepulveda.
Sepulveda? I mean.
You know, it's a trade-off.
Yeah.
And we were really trying to balance,
Yeah.
we felt that it was very important to provide that buffer to the single-family
Yeah, that's what I
residents
meant,
across
yeah.
the street. And it's, you know, that's
It's a
really what it
trade-off.
comes down to.
We looked at the adjacent property here,
Hmm.
and it's setback observed, and here, and we really thought to deviate from that, it gets to that same trade-off issue. So
Hmm.
we retained the standard of the R3 zone there.
When you exit from the property, is there just a only right turn only, because it is pretty closer to the intersection where it's a double line? Is that sort of
That's
consideration?
the same thing.
Yeah, it's similar to the
Except very
residential. You know, the way I was viewing it, I don't know that we've, determined that right turn only, although it probably would be fine. I think somebody
Yeah.
mentioned the fact that some people are gonna go left if there's an opening, whether there's a sign there or
Yeah.
not. But the one halfway decent thing is, you've got guests, they're not gonna tend to try to find a shortcut.
They won't be cutting through the
Yeah.
neighborhood as much.
Yeah.
People who live in an apartment, they
They
figure
know
out.
the area, right.
Because they're going on a regular route every
Yeah,
day.
and plus you're in Hatteras and you could go
Go
make
into
a
the
left
parking
and-
lot
yeah.
and come
Right.
back
And they
out.
might
There is
not
a
be
signal
going
on that
at
street,
rush
Yes,
correct?
there's a
Yeah,
signal
okay.
on Hatteras,
They'll
yeah.
probably go at different times as well.
I can imagine there'll be a lot of guests who will make an illegal left-hand turn because they're not thinking, or they just think they can
Yeah,
They
get
just
away.
don't know the rules.
Just, yeah,
Yeah,
Or they'll go to Hatteras into the parking lot and
that's right.
come out
Turn
like
around,
that, because you
right.
got the signal there, which makes it fairly convenient to do that.
Correct, correct.
okay. Does anybody?
No.
I just want to talk about the building itself. As far as looking at the elevation, I know you showed the materials and everything, but I'm just kind of wondering, as far as where the La Quinta is that's going to be stucco, right? And it's sort of like,
Yes.
is it going to be like a coarse and like some here is going to be smooth, or is that something?
Yes, my understanding is that it's a combination.
Limestone and stucco.
Yeah.
But I mean,
You've
as
got-
far as the stucco surface itself, and
Is it smooth or coarse?
yeah, because when you look at something like stippled, it means like it's porous, and then if it's like,
Flat, it's
it means
smooth,
that it's
yeah.
smooth trial finish.
You have a mixture where you've got a really aggregated one and almost smooth, so there's some variation in the texture, but they all do have
Okay,
a stucco appearance.
okay, yeah.
Okay.
No, it just makes it, sort of accentuate a little bit.
Yeah, the idea was to vary both the articulation and the materials enough that you notice them,
Uh-huh.
but that they're consistent with one another.
Okay.
That bottom view is the north view of the,
This is south. Did you want to see the north?
yes.
So this would be from the adjacent La Cabana
Okay,
here, and then the adjacent
yeah.
apartment building.
What are we looking at in those four spots, those four squares?
These here.
What are they?
Yes. Those are a grate,
Okay,
if you will, for ventilation.
got it. My only thought on that is that you really wouldn't, there is parking there?
Yeah, so with this area is the driveway, and this is on the north side of the driveway, this portion here.
Right.
The building cantilevers over it, and then it cantilevers over surface level parking here.
I got you.
And then there's some
The
more
parking.
surface level parking here, and then the structure.
Okay.
So that's really the side of the building that is on the north side,
Mm.
right? Okay.
Yeah,
And then this portion is actually set back further.
About
the
30
lighter
my only
colors.
thought on that is, I would suggest louvers on that so that it would mitigate any lights coming out of that building into the other property that he owns, the,
louvers.
To the north?
yeah.
I don't think Mr. Patel owns the property to the north.
No.
Oh, he doesn't?
No.
No, he only owns this property.
Oh,
Yeah, we don't own, he
What
doesn't own.
is, that's an apartment, isn't it?
No, it's,
Uh,
it's,
there's
it's
a
nothing,
in
it's
the south.
another hotel.
Oh, right, to the south is an apartment.
okay.
Right.
Okay, one question. I know you had an exercise room. Is there anything for business to do any conference call or anything like that, as far as?
Business center.
Business
Business
center?
center?
There's a small business center, mostly like for fax machines or a computer.
No, just like small meeting also.
Oh, meeting room? Okay. So there will be a small meeting room.
Okay, is on the first floor?
Yes, all those facilities are in the first floor.
Okay.
That's a good idea. We started that at the Hampton.
Is there any other comments?
That's a good idea.
Okay, should we bring it to vote?
Okay.
Somebody second it?
I'll second it.
Okay, John, you wanna do the count?
Okay, Chairman Delacosta?
Yes?
Okay, Vice Chairman Martin?
Yes.
Okay, Secretary Hendry, aye. Mr. Benjamin, aye. Ms. Schertzer, is she still here?
Abstain.
She abstains.
Okay, so.
Passes?
So it passes, so you're in the general meeting.
Okay, thank you.
Great.
for
And
all
you'll
your
have
time.
10 minutes to present at the general meeting. So it's a, you know,
Condensed.
yeah.
Thank you.
At the general meeting, we hope to bring.
Monday is
Monday
are we
night,
set?
7 o'clock. I have, do you have the address?
I do.
You're,
I think
you're,
it's 514.
5744.
Pam,
Thank you.
5744.
when is their actual, when is your hearing?
The 4th of March.
4th of March? All right, so you'll have,
That's the hearing officer's hearing. I'm told planning staff tells me about 6 weeks thereafter
Okay.
is the actual city planning.
okay, all right. I was just trying to figure out where that's gonna be in relationship to you coming on the 12th.
Right.
All right, so you really won't have anything back. You won't know. Will you know anything about the?
We are really,
Okay.
after the hearing, I had talked to Sue Chang and let her know that we would really like to see her December.
Okay.
We're
All right.
hopeful that we get earlier as opposed to later news.
Okay. Okay. No problem.
Here it is, be happy, have a McDonald's, get down on your knees.
Carino, I think we should move on to Jerry's
If you're ever
project.
in the area, stop by one of my places.
Where's your one?
The one here in Van Nuys is on Sherman Way.
It's like one. That's where we've got a good
I don't have to deal with this job. I don't know if it's better or
The
worse.
young one is a senior in high school, boy, girl. Local?
But still there.
Oh, okay.
What you might want to do is take all the cords from the machine, dump them into your change machine.
He used to go to,
There was a
Let me encourage you to come to the regular meeting.
I'm actually a candidate for I'm running against you.
Thank you, it's good to see you all. Take care. I'm glad that, you decided these applicants, and I enjoyed. Daryl, thank you for inviting me, I appreciate it. I'm not gonna stick around for class.
Okay, no problem.
I
know, but it's North Oxnard.
Yeah, I know.
It's out of my area, I'll talk to Mary's office.
Yeah, talk to Murray and ask the deputy planner to show up for the plum.
Okay, yeah, I will.
They become very available. And all you have to do is go before the board, take the case, and all right. And there are a number of
So, what about in this simple
He loved it. Yeah, he loved it. Kids were 8 years old.
I decided to start,
Okay, order. We got one more item.
Okay, gentle people,
We got one more,
Oh, you have one more?
one more on the agenda.
We'll see
Where'd
Monday.
Jonathan go?
Thank you.
Goodbye,
Good
Mr.
night.
Patel.
Thank you.
Good luck to you. You'll pay me later for the comment.
Did Jonathan leave already?
he left. Item 5D, Raymer Street pedestrian bridge. Right now, we're trying,
See you Monday.
no, Right now, we're trying to restore the pedestrian bridge is what is located in Raymer and Kester. That crosses the train in Van Nuys and Panorama City.
It's a pedestrian bridge that goes over the railroad tracks.
Yeah,
Behind it, about 500 feet from Kester Avenue, near that Target.
and what we're trying to do is to get the city to clean it up, to make repairs, maintenance, and sort of make it more pedestrian friendly, because we did talk to, me and Jerry talked to the officer who's involved in the area, and we talked about the condition that is right there, that is there. So we're familiar with it, and I think that there could be also added improvements, mostly in Raymer Street, that we need to have some kind of a crosswalk, because the way it is conditioned now is that you get off the bridge on Raymer, and then you have to go through a ramp that goes directly to west to Kester. So if you want to go to east, where you have to basically, walk across the street, and there's no provided crosswalk in that area. So we would like to see it, the city to acknowledge that there is a problem, that you want to make this pedestrian bridge safe for the kids, because that's what they're using it more. And Jerry, want to add something?
Yeah, some of the other issues is that, we need to find a ways to actually keep the kids from actually crossing the tracks itself, instead of having to use the bridge. Because right now, a lot of the kids, they're climbing over a fence and walking over 3 sets of railroad tracks where there are trains that go by at all hours of the day. And then it's not exactly a safe condition. There's a couple of times I was there, saw a couple of kids actually, after they crawled over the fence, they actually crawled over a couple of rail cars of a train that was actually doing some yard work. So we need to try to find a way to try to keep them off the track and have them use the bridge more.
So does Metro and Amtrak, do they participate in this type of situation? Because it's affecting the safety of the.
Yeah, I think.
The issue is right now is that Mayor Martinez's office right now is going to be looking at it, because the bridge is owned by the city. The railroad tracks itself is owned by Metro, and the sheriff patrols that. But the issue is that it's the bridge itself that's where the issues are. So the city is going to have to.
But if you have the support and goosing
Yeah.
from Metro and Amtrak, then
Because I already made Xavier Slosky's office aware of the issue, because he's also on the board for Metro, and I made some inquiries with some people I know at Metro, and they're aware of it. So they're all right now trying to get Nuys' office to step up.
I know they mentioned in the last general meeting. So, Jeanette.
Okay, I went with Jerry one afternoon to go check it out and take some pictures, and while we were standing there talking, there were no less than, 5 cruisers who went by. We knew all of the black and whites, LAPD, and 2 sheriffs, but they don't generally go that often, because that's a side street I take a lot to circumvent some of the traffic on Van Nuys Boulevard and to get to Target the back way. It's Raymer, whatever. Okay, so we were on that street. And I asked them also about the trash, because it's again a safety issue. And I went by Jerry, and there's more trash you cannot believe. Just like I told him, there's dumped sofas and chairs and tables and crap. People just leave it on the side of the there's no sidewalk there on the opposite side. There's only a little bit on one side, but the fence by the railroad track, closest to the railroad tracks, it's just all up and down, there's crap, and then.
It's a dumping ground.
Yeah, pretty much, and the street, well, but that stuff isn't recycling, and then there's.
Missed it by that much.
Really, exactly, and there's a gentleman's club, and there's a lot of other undesirables type stuff too, but the bottom line is, that street is neglected every way you can think of. And while we were there, we not only watched that, but we saw 4 kids up on the bridge, and we were watching them to see if they were gonna graffiti it, because they were just standing there, and they weren't doing anything, and they were watching us. Then people started passing by us, and some of them a little questionable looking and what have you. But there was the reason we were there was to see the condition of it, because there's a lot of graffiti, and there was graffiti on, all over that bridge, on all sides, and there, like he said, there's a part of the fence that's broken open where they can climb through, and plus a lot of the lighting adjacent isn't working, so it's dangerous in that respect. You try to cross that thing and it's evening, you can't see where you're going, and that's dangerous. So bottom line, it's neglected and it needs some work. And probably because we had Cardenas before, we didn't care about any of that kind of stuff, it didn't ever get taken care of, and now hopefully Nuys, because she's new and she'll want reelected 2 years, maybe we'll do something. But we really do need to get more things done with that. It's not only an eyesore, but it is a safety issue. And as he said, if kids are crossing and they get hit by a train, God forbid, that would be, big lawsuit city. So we don't need children getting hurt because they're stupid, and we don't want the eyesore either, or all the trash. So we need to do something about that.
Yeah, prior to the meeting, I showed up early, and there was an officer who showed up at our general meeting.
Officer Nuys, I think it is, Jose Nuys. He showed up at our general meeting.
Now?
Yeah, but
Temporary senior leave?
Yeah,
Yeah,
up there.
and
Okay.
he's been communicating with some of the recyclable owners about some of the stuff that's being dumped, because what happens is that people who would bring television or something that would deem recyclable, and they bring it over there, and then when they look at it, they'll say, yay, no, we can't take that. So
Right.
what happens is that they just kind of, well, if they're not gonna take it, we're just gonna drop it.
And they do.
And they do, so, but what the owner suggests is that he wants to put like a little trash dumpster right
recycle,
beside it.
put all that in.
So if there's something that they can't take, then the person who brings over the recyclables, if they can't recycle it, they just put in the trash. And, but I think there's a legality as far as, can you put something in the public domain for people to place it in? So that's, and he's sort of trying to.
And it would have to be huge, because some of those items are really, really humongous,
Yeah.
so.
Well, and
that's
plus
a
you're
big
gonna
problem.
have to.
And who's gonna
Yeah, who's
take
gonna
it?
pick it up and-
Yeah,
Exactly,
exactly.
who's
There's
gonna pay
a
for
thousand
it?
questions.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and I
exactly,
think
so-
did he mention the owner, because we're gonna contact with him and see, what he's able to provide.
Yeah, it wouldn't be large enough, and it's kind of unfair for him to have to pay for something like that, but bottom line, his business attracts stuff like that, and people know that they can put it by their curb, and there's a certain number that they can call and have large items picked up
Yeah,
311 is the
specifically, but they
number.
never do it, they just dump it wherever.
well,
It's not my street, I don't care.
I think it's going all around, not only
Yeah.
in Raymer, but,
It's everywhere, well,
yeah,
that's
it's
what I'm
everywhere.
saying, it's happened in my property, and I'm getting blamed for some of this stuff, people walk up and down the street and throw in our yard.
I go around my block periodically and leave messages, and then if I see something sitting, then I call.
So do I.
And then for the big trash pickup, and they pick it up.
Yeah,
They're very good.
yeah, there's also an app that's,
311 app, yeah.
311, and
Yeah,
You
it takes
could
a while
use
for
it-
them to get to you, though.
No, you take a picture of it and you say where it is, and you send it to them, and boom, it's gone.
Yeah.
within
yeah, it
3 to
really
5 days.
depends, because I've done it, and, I see like, television tubes without
I've got
the.
one right now,
Yeah.
sitting
Yeah,
on
so,
my
and it
little center
took
divider.
about maybe a month.
Yeah,
And,
exactly.
Yeah, well, it's,
We've
yeah.
had
I
one
mean,
sitting
but
there
it's-
for 2
It's
months
hazardous
already.
waste.
Yeah, I
You
know.
know,
But
there's
with
rare
that-
earth
Our
in it.
neighbor, at the end of my street is a dead end, and there was a 99-cent shopping basket that appeared there. It's the kind that is locked, that you can't remove it from the parking lot.
But they did, how did they do it?
What happened was, they had 2 guys lift it over
Oh.
the barrier and then wheel it over to our street, and then it just filled with garbage. So my neighbor called up the 99-cent corporate office, and they said, "Don't worry, sir, we'll go and we'll collect it, we'll take it out there." No one ever came, so he went to the 99-cent store on Van Nuys and Van Owen, and he talked to the guy there. He says, "Well, we don't have any service that does that picks up shopping carts, because all our shopping carts lock, and we don't, and corporate told us we don't need that anymore."
Yeah,
So,
well, guess what?
yeah, so that, they lied to
The
him.
homeless take it and
Is
use
that-
it for their, what?
I won't comment if it's not an issue. Is that a continual issue, the shopping carts?
Oh, absolutely. It
Yeah.
goes on and on and on and on
Time
our
everywhere.
street,
Okay.
because we are behind the 99 Ranch Market, not to be confused with 99-cent store, which is on Sepulveda and Victory.
So-
And they have a dead end on Hamlin that they bought when they built the market, and they neglect it, and it just, sits
Fills
there
up
with
with trash.
shopping carts and
Yeah.
crap. So it's it's a continual issue for us.
The reason I asked is because I used to manage both a Pep Boys and an Office Max, and it's an informal way that they get their shopping carts back. Guys go around with pickup trucks.
Right,
and
right.
Pick them up.
Yes.
They're not licensed, they're nothing, they're just guys with a pickup truck. And they sell them back to the stores between $3 and $5 a shopping cart.
Right.
Because typical shopping carts can be $200 or more dollars.
Right, right.
500, yeah,
That's a
if
good
you got,
business.
you know, so it's possible that the store doesn't have a program in place, because every 2 weeks, the guy will show up with their shopping carts.
Right, right.
So
Cute.
that might be something
Entrepreneurial shit.
where, are you part of the neighborhood council?
No, just informally.
No, well, I'm super glad that you're here. What you might wanna do is maybe have a conversation with them, and maybe kind of, you know, establish something like that.
Or,
If it's a
Backing?
continual problem.
Do you need backing, Adam? Andrew, I mean, sorry.
No car renal.
Sorry.
we have, just call him Q. That was good comeback though. We have a heck of a lot of problems in Nuys. That's what I was trying to say earlier when I said safety. They all know me, so I didn't have to spell it out, but I guess these people did, and I should have thought to spell out exactly what I meant. Drugs, prostitution, gangs, graffiti, and dumping.
Right, right.
You know, I mean, we have a major problem with all of those things because for some reason, and it's not just here, it is everywhere, I did say that, but I think we have a much larger problem here than some areas because this is an old town. And a lot of the buildings are old and some of them not well kept, and we have a few slumlords, and then there's the prostitution and all that. And so they for some reason, people don't seem to care about this neighborhood. We residents care, I'm talking about
Right.
other people.
Well,
So they come and they dump their stuff here because, well, it's low class anyway. I mean, it's not always people that
Well,
live here that
I
do
mean,
that.
as far as, you know, being a stakeholder and all that, I think we're only good by numbers,
Yes.
not by, you know, by individual complaints, so if we put our resources together,
Absolutely,
then we could, you know,
absolutely,
make
we need to
those.
No,
work
it's-
together, that's the whole idea.
It's voice in mass, you know.
Yeah.
Of course, that's my whole point. That was one of the reasons that one of our people is very adamant about getting the video conferencing back on, but the problem is enough people don't pay attention to that. It is such a good avenue to reach the whole city council and so many people across the valley. Her big thing is, well, if we don't get it, we ought to secede. And I keep trying to tell her and people that think that, that's not the answer, because we can't support ourselves. There's no way the valley could sustain
Correct.
itself if it was disenfranchised from LA.
Well,
Bottom line, no, trust me, we couldn't. And I know I have figures even, but the bottom line is, we need to work together to get things accomplished.
Yeah,
And all of us need to
Right.
show that we care,
Well,
come to the meetings and
me too.
support the meetings,
I
and
think one
then,
of the things
help.
that I'm sort of concerned is that a lot of decisions are made in downtown, not here.
I know.
That's the problem, because they don't even know the area itself, except the people who live there.
yeah, some do,
And,
some
you
don't.
know, and there's certain nuance on neighbors that, you know, you could, you know, who's to say that the person in downtown is gonna make the right choice or the right determination?
Can
Oh,
I just,
absolutely.
can I just interject something very quickly about the Raymer Street Bridge? I have a friend who walks his dog along that path. He lives in that neighborhood up there. And he pointed out that when you go down Sepulveda and you go under those railroad tracks, he calls it the Sepulveda Gulch, there's non-irrigated slopes coming down where there's sprinklers, but there's no plants on it. So a month ago, he asked me to come to make a presentation in Nuys Martinez's office where he said, let's get people together and let's get money and let's irrigate the sides of this, you know, thing. And he spoke to this woman and she said, well, we have to get these people together, we have to get this committee, we have to do this one. And so there were so many people that needed to be put together to get this thing irrigated that it kind of turned him off. I thought he gave up too easily. But he had an idea that, you know, he looked at this and it's like an eyesore. It's just a muddy thing that rains and rains mud down onto Sepulveda, and why isn't it irrigated? So like you bring an idea to Nuys Martinez's office, and why is it so hard sometimes, just like you're here now, and that's why I'm bringing it up to you. Why is it so hard to get these small little things done that would improve the neighborhood and make it more aesthetically, you know, pleasing?
We need to get it across to her the importance. Some of the city council members, if not all of them, have pet projects and they have funds for it and what have you. Nury hasn't lived in Van Nuys for a long time. She lived in San Fernando for a long time, she lived in other areas, she's on the
But she did grow up in the neighborhood.
Oh,
Yeah,
no,
she did.
absolutely she
Yeah.
did, and I think she's got a house in the neighborhood again, but the bottom line was she didn't for a long time. When you don't, and you came up from the dredges and you've gone way beyond, you kind of forget what it was like. Okay, so her biggest thing, no, it is though, it's true, I've talked to her. The biggest problem is we need to make her aware of the importance to us. You are our representative for our neighborhood council and our neighborhood. You need to listen to what we're trying to say to you and why.
You know,
But you really have to make your point there.
It's real easy to come up with 100 projects and present it to somebody
Right,
who's in a position to change things, but the point is that you've got 100 projects, you've got 100 projects, you've got 100
Exactly.
projects, you've got
Right,
100 projects.
Right.
All of, and the city works in a very systematic way. And it takes a community
accuracy, yeah,
of
it's
people to get anything done. Nothing happens from one directive. It just doesn't happen that way. So I mean, you can't blame Nury Martinez for this.
Right.
It's just the way city government works. It's a bureaucracy.
Not that we want
And
it.
there's so many layers of that bureaucracy that she knows how to navigate it.
right,
It's just not always doable at the drop of a hat.
exactly,
It takes time.
right.
Let me ask one quick question.
Persistence pays off.
Wasn't both of these projects south of Burbank Boulevard that we saw prior to this?
North of Burbank.
They
They're
are
north.
north of
They're
Burbank
north,
Boulevard.
they're actually,
Yeah.
the bridge is actually not in our neighborhood technically, it's in Panorama
Yeah,
City.
no, it's in our neighborhood.
Oh, okay,
No, I'm talking about the two former projects that were on Sepulveda. They
Oh.
are north.
North of Burbank.
Okay, sorry about that.
Across the street from Target.
Yeah.
Come to the south of Van Nuys sometime.
I do go, I
Wait,
shop
wait,
there.
though, is that still our neighbor too, all the way up there?
What was that?
How far do we go south?
Just to Burbank.
We go to Burbank Boulevard and the
Just
405.
So they
Yeah.
just made it
They
into
just
our
made it
neighborhood.
in. See, I thought it was south, and I thought,
I-
why are we even
Auto Row
entertaining
goes
this?
all the way to
Yeah,
Magnolia
yeah.
there.
Okay,
So we
can
have
we
that
just
to-
finish it up and,
Yeah.
so as far as, trying to coordinate, I know that.
I guess, if you have, we'll just put that part of the beautification committee.
Yeah,
I guess.
Sure.
Yeah,
So that way, we have ongoing projects.
and I would like to get somebody from Nury's office, whether it's
Guillermo,
Guillermo.
I didn't think Guillermo was the one contact person
Yeah.
I was told was looking at it.
That's the point person.
I really like to work with Guillermo
Yeah.
because, he's the one who's been showing up to our meetings.
Absolutely.
And he's hearing it.
Guillermo.
Or Linda, Linda Levitan.
yeah.
Guillermo's the go-to guy, you
Yeah.
know? I mean, Dantona,
he's busy.
Jim
She's staff.
Jim Dantona is her right-hand person.
Right,
But Guillermo is
Get it
a
done,
major
guys.
lieutenant,
Yeah.
you know?
okay.
No, I just, because I know
And
that,
Linda
Guillermo wanted to work with me because I proposed something like, helping with the back alleys around Van Nuys, trying to clean it up.
Right.
And hopefully, there could be murals, something that could be interesting.
Yeah.
Just like that tattoo parlor, the Hokusai drawing.
Yeah. Well, in that alley that's north of Friar, there are murals in that alley. On the east side of on the west side of the street, they just have been neglected and painted over. And,
The same thing with the one on
Yeah,
Swoboda.
so I mean, I-
What you were talking about.
yeah.
I'm trying to get
right,
Guillermo,
right.
but
Oh, damn it,
he's
all the
he's
ones
been I guess suggested that I don't know what's going on, but they said I was going to be contacted with Nury's deputy
Yeah.
planner, and I haven't heard anything yet.
Well, stay on top of it. I mean, it's really,
No, I'm
squeaky
gonna-
wheel,
I'm
you
gonna
know?
bring it to Guillermo and see if he could
And
kind of
Linda.
change things.
And if you have time during the day,
Do I have time?
this much, as much time as I've got.
Yeah.
Just knock on the door there, I mean, plain and simple. You can get access
Oh,
to
yeah.
the building, show your card.
I don't know where her office is.
It's on the
It's right
floor.
here.
Yeah, it's on
She's
third floor.
got more than one, that's the thing, she's up in
Yeah, I
another
know.
office.
I know, but Guillermo is he's gonna be in her field office.
Okay.
He's gonna be there.
But Linda Levitan is almost always in this office.
Yeah, always.
So if you see her.
I think she's on the third floor.
Right, so you
Okay.
can
Second
speak
floor.
to her. If you
Second
don't get
floor?
to speak
Okay.
to
Yeah, same floor as
Or
the
Guillermo, you can speak to Linda.
Okay,
the hearing room, the chambers right there.
Okay.
Yeah, and she will make sure the messages get to the right person and get taken care of, because Linda's really good, I worked with her for many years.
okay.
Yeah, so she's in the Browdy building. She's not in the 14410.
Okay,
She's,
maybe somebody could.
she's in 6262 on the second floor,
Okay.
where we have the meeting.
Okay,
Right, right.
Oh, because I met her in the office in the old building like last month. This building.
Really?
She has an
Yeah.
office in the old building, that's what I was trying
Yeah.
to say.
Yeah.
It's
They-
in
I think they're on
building
the-
where we
They're,
had
they're on the third floor, because
um,
we moved to the fourth.
People tree.
Yeah, they're on the third floor.
Yeah, that one.
Okay, see, that's what I thought.
Yeah, they're on the third floor of the old building, because Dunn moved to the fourth,
Yeah.
so they have the third floor.
and where's ours?
Fourth
Yeah,
floor.
yeah.
Oh, our old office.
Where's
Hey,
ours?
Hey,
I got you a clue where ours
Put a
is.
fire under them for that.
In Howard's garage.
That's
Yeah.
it. We're
Okay.
meeting in the garage.
I guess, well, are we
That's it.
done?
That's
I
it.
think we're
Let's
done.
go.
Adjourn the
Okay, well,
meeting.
thank you for everybody to come by, and I think it went well.
Thank
You did, indeed.
Great meeting.